Alright, put the kettle on, it's match day 8-ish vibes in the Premier League. Saturday 18th of October 2025, and we've got a properly chaotic slate. Firstly, I'd like to apologise for the lack of content this week. I've been updating my tech, and it's going as smoothly as bathing a muddy puppy. Let's whistle through the card with a mix of head, heart, and a gentle slosh of builder's tea. Nottingham Forest versus Chelsea, 12:30 BST at the City Ground. Forest opened the day under a fair bit of pressure. Ange Postecoglou's lot, yes, that's still a sentence that makes your brain do a double take, have been winless and wobbly, and the mood around the City Ground is tense. The Guardian's live blog this morning clocked the temperature, noting the scrutiny on Postecoglou and the ownership. Chelsea arrive with a spring in the step and, crucially, better recent results at this ground. Plus, Forest's form line isn't exactly a comfort blanket. Even so, the Blues aren't full strength. Cole Palmer being out for several more weeks has been a big creative dent. Matchup lens, Forest can unsettle with early pressure and set pieces, but Chelsea's out-of-possession structure has improved, and they've been more ruthless in transitions. Leaning, Chelsea to nick it in a tight one, something like 0-1. Forest's fragility plus Chelsea's away template feels decisive. The 3 p.m. carousel BST, Brighton versus Newcastle at the Amex. Team news tilts towards Brighton's treatment room being a bit busy. Solly March, Adam Webster, Jack Hinchelwood, Brajan Gruder are out. Doubts around Veltman and Mitoma were flagged. That dents their ball progression and width. Newcastle, for all their attacking ceiling, have been tipped by a few pundits to find this awkward. There's been talk of a draw as they keep searching for that fully clicked attacking rhythm. Matchup lens, if Brighton can still control midfield rest defence without their usual fullback balance, they'll create the kind of game that frustrates Howe. But Newcastle's set-play threat is a live edge. Leaning, 1-1 feels right. Brighton's absentees versus Newcastle's physicality evens out. Manchester City versus Everton at the Etihad. Two big headlines. Rodri is out injured, massive for City's tempo control, and Jack Grealish is ineligible to face his parent club. A double swing given he's been a creative leader for Everton since arriving. Pep still has the Haaland factor, obviously. Matchup lens. Without Rodri, City can look a touch human in defensive transitions, but Everton lose a lot of ball-carrying relief and final third craft with Grealish unavailable. Expect a territorially dominant City with the usual avalanche of box entries. Leaning, City win, likely 2-0, Haaland doing Haaland things, even with the Rodri gap. Everton's key absentee is bigger in swing value. Crystal Palace versus Bournemouth at Selhurst Palace, under Oliver Glasner, are structurally sound. But there's a subplot today. Mark Gahey's future noise bubbled up this morning, not an injury, but the kind of distraction you don't love pre-match. Bournemouth, meanwhile, have been one of the stories of the early table, sitting high after 7 games. Matchup lens, Palace's compact mid-block versus Bournemouth's confident front foot patterns. If Palace can't progress cleanly through the thirds, Bournemouth's press can hem them in. Leaning, 1-1, or a sneaky Bournemouth 0-1. Form table tilts toward the Cherries. Burnley versus Leeds, Turf Moor, a championship reunion of last season's top 2, and it should crackle. Both sides know each other's automations inside out. It may come down to who handles the wide overloads and second balls better. The previews frame it as a tight affair. Leaning, edge to Leeds, given their slightly sharper counterpunch this term. Sunderland versus Wolves, Stadium of Light. Wolves have been winless in 11 league games. That's not a typo, even if the last couple of draws steadied the ship a smidge. Sunderland, back in the big show, have a real chance to weaponize the atmosphere here. Local previews are cautiously optimistic for a home win. Matchup lens, if Sunderland press high and get first contact in midfield, Wolves' confidence can ebb quickly. But if Wolves' wide players start isolating fullbacks, this flips. Leaning, Sunderland 1-0. Form is form, and Wolves' heads drop too easily. Tea time, Fulham versus Arsenal, 17:30 BST. Craven Cottage League leaders Arsenal, top after 7, head across town to a ground that hasn't been overly kind to them of late. Fulham's team news is rough. Anthony Robinson out, Sasa Lukic out 4 to 6 weeks. And Rodrigo Muniz still sidelined, that's left side stability and forward reference points diminished. Meanwhile, the consensus is that Arsenal look ominous again. Matchup lens. Without Robinson, Fulham's left channel can be targeted by Arsenal's right-sided rotations. Saka, Odegaard and White love those overloads. Fulham's route is to make it sticky centrally and nick restarts. Leaning, Arsenal 0-2. Control, patience, bend the damn brakes. And yes, Chris Sutton's been in the no one is stopping them camp this weekend. A bit spicy, but you get the point. Quick hits and context. Kickoff spread today. Early one at 12:30, Forest-Chelsea. 5 at 3 p.m, then Fulham-Arsenal at 17:30. Spurs-Villa and Liverpool-United are Sunday. Brentford-West Ham on Monday. Table snapshot. Arsenal top after 7, 5W, 1D, 1L, plus 11 grand, with Liverpool and Spurs in pursuit. Bournemouth's early placement in the top 4 is not a typo. Today's likely storylines, aka what you'll argue about over a cuppa. City's midfield without Rodri. They'll have the ball, but watch the few Everton counters carefully. If City looks stretched, it's your talking point. Forest's first 20 minutes. If they ride the emotion and land a punch, the mood flips. If Chelsea score first, those City ground groans return. Brighton's makeshift balance versus Newcastle's set plays. Margins. Sunderland's chance to be sensible. Don't gift the winless Wolves their feel-good afternoon. Right. Predictions to pin on the fridge. Forest 0, Chelsea. Brighton 1-1 Newcastle. Man City 2-0 Everton. Crystal Palace 0-1 Bournemouth. Draw very live. Burnley 1-2 Leeds. Sunderland 1-0 Wolves. Fulham 0-2 Arsenal. If I've underestimated your lot, feel free to dunk your biscuit in my tea. Just don't let it disintegrate like Wolves' form in second halves. Enjoy the chaos, keep your brews hot, and may your goals turn into green arrows for once.